Hi, I'm Bert Nussbaumer from microbeat.co.uk. We really seem to have a tough start into January with first the micro Middle East crisis that we had earlier in January, and now obviously the main talking point of the week is really the outbreak of the coronavirus in China. And this is really what is the sort of core concern that the market has right now. Obviously, flashbacks to 2003 when we had the SARS virus that really caused a big upset in terms of global growth, and in particular for the Chinese. And this comes just at a very bad moment in time when we just started to see some of the green shoots coming in the region, some better data in China. Obviously, we had the phase 1 trade deal. We have, overall okay-ish data in Australia. So just generally seems that just at the time when the market gets more upbeat on the global economy, we have this virus to deal with, which at this point in time, we really do not yet know how severe it's going to be, how we proceed from here. We have like 10 cities in China in lockdown. It's about 25 million people. Obviously, we have the Lunar New Year holiday, like where China is off for a week. Millions of people traveling to see their relatives and family, which obviously is a problem for the virus, the spread of the virus on the one hand. Obviously, on the other hand, it's that time when the Chinese spend a lot of money. So there is definitely some repercussion coming from that side. One thing I want to look at first, the first slide that I have, it may not be, a nice slide, but sadly, this is what we have to look in terms of risk management. This is a comparison between the SARS virus from 2003 and the current virus, the coronavirus. This is the fatality rate, and this is going to be the key going forward into next week and possibly the next few weeks to try to assess a potential damage for the Chinese economy or for the global economy. Currently, with a fatality rate of 2%, luckily this is not yet at a worrying level. If this number starts to go up, that's when I feel the problems really could arise, and there is some potential damage for the global economy, and that would really be bad for risk, for equities, for FX risk, and all that goes along with that. I want to quickly leave the virus and go just to the sort of only data we had this week in the US. The next slide, the existing home sales. There's a really nice recovery there, and that goes into what I just said. There is a general feel that the global economy is doing better, and therefore this virus indeed comes at the sort of a worst time for the time being. So nice data. We only had sort of tier 2 data in the US that all look pretty good. We have to wait for next week for a bit more solid data. The next slide, we have Bank of Canada this week. Finally, they blinked. They started to understand that they were the only ones not really giving any stimulus in 2019, and it starts to obviously show in the data as well. That's a trade I've been waiting for a while, that Bank of Canada may have to start looking at a rate cut. So the door is open. They're watching data for the time being, but it seems we might get a 25 basis points cut from Canada probably in March or April. On the next slide, this is the dollar index. We continue to see a strong dollar, so the strong dollar seems to be back. We are at a very critical point here, and around this 97.70, 97.85. A break here would really mean that the dollar will come out strong again, and we might see a rally higher in the dollar for the near term. So this sort of dollar rolling over just seems not to happen right now. But it's crunch time. We haven't broken yet, so a big story here for the next few days to watch. The last slide is on dollar CNH. Obviously, we had a really big rally of the CNH, or sell-off in the dollar on the back of phase 1 trade deal. We now see a bigger bounce on the back of the virus that is going on in China. And this is really maybe the barometer of risk. If you see dollar CNH continue to rally strongly, that should be a concern for equities and risk FX going into next week. We wait now for the weekend news on the virus to see how this is going to proceed. This is it for me, macrobeat.co.uk. Have a very lovely weekend and see you next week. Thank you.